Hey guys, thanks for checking back in again. I got a chance to go out to Bradley Creek and do a little fishing a couple weeks ago, which puts it about the first part of October. Weather was really nice. Not a whole lot of wind, not really any wind to speak of. The high was about 80 and the water temp was about 75. So starting to cool down a little bit in the water wise here, and that's really good for the fall bite. So hopefully that'll be starting to pick up real soon here. I try to go back into these little flats every time I go out fishing in this area, just so I can see what what the hatch is. They say match the hatch when you go fishing. So I come back here, you can see there's tons and tons of bait fish all back up in this little flat. Now this is only 5 or 6 inches of water at the deepest point, so you can kind of see exactly what it is, which is really good. So you can kind of match your lures or your bait to what's going on. So a little bit of juvenile humor here. Had a few too many bean burritos the night before, you might say, and had to release the pressure, which is what I do right here. The interesting thing about it is, though, really is right in front of the boat, and this is probably maybe 6 or 7 feet in front of the boat, the little school of bait fish jump. The reason I point this out to you, other than the obvious hilarity, is just to show you that every sound you make while you're fishing, no matter what it is, uh, can affect the fish around you. You bump your paddle on the boat, you drop a bait bucket, or you splash an anchor. All these things can negatively affect the fish around you, and can negatively affect the ratio of catches that you might get. I've had sometimes people come up zooming up on their motorboat while I'm out there, either fighting a fish, or I've caught a few fish in a row, and they see, they come zooming up and, hey, what bait are you using? How are you doing? What's going on? What are you catching? And immediately, almost every time, the bite just shuts down. We're back here in such shallow water that all these vibrations and stuff really affect these fish. So, you just be a little aware of the noises and everything that's going on that you're making. So I turned around right here because I saw something that caught my eye in the water. I didn't know quite what it was, so I wanted to see it. Now, again, really shallow water, 5 to 6 inches of water, so it's, you can see real clear. Some sort of a bone. I'm not sure what. I'm assuming it's some sort of a bird bone, maybe pelican or seagull or whatever. But if anybody knows exactly what it is, just say post it down in the comments there and let me know. It'd be pretty cool just to know what it is. And it was picked clean, like there was nothing left on it. So crabs and shrimp and everything got their meal out of it, I tell you that. So I think my route on this trip took right about 8 miles or so, round trip. And this is probably 10:30, 10 or 10:30 in the morning, and still no wind. And you can see how glassy this is, and this is a fairly large creek through here, so it usually gets a little bit of chop from the wind, and I mean there's just none. So I'm cruising on, looking along the banks for fish, for signs of fish. There's right up where you can see way up in the top there's probably still about a half mile or so away at least, where some boats are now. There's birds over there working, so I know that there's fish there. There's something going on there, so eventually I get there. Now I screwed up 2 or 3 times. I've already caught some fish. I've screwed up the camera work. I had a dead battery. One time I forgot to turn the stupid camera on. Next time I took a picture instead of a video. Anyway, this technique is called fan casting. I finally got the camera working right. So now to the fishing. This is called fan casting. What you do is you get into a zone here. What I did is just back up into the reeds because I'm actually fishing for flounder. So I'm fishing out towards the deeper areas. And you start to your left and you cast out as far as you can, let it sink to the bottom, work it slowly along the bottom back to you, and then the next cast you'll kind of not quite as far to the left, a little less to the left, you'll cast again, maybe 4 to 5 degrees less, and then work it all the way around you, as far as you can. With me, I'm kind of limited by the grass and stuff on the sides, but you technically could do this 180 degrees around you and really cover a lot of area. to make sure that you're not missing any fish. Now the tide is coming in, so that makes the water flowing from right to left in front of me. And this is actually the creek mouth at Bradley Creek. So, you know, it's a good time to fish. You can see there's still birds diving and bait fish hopping and stuff. So this will be the second cast, you know, right out into the deep. Just let it settle to the bottom. And I figure I'm in for the long haul here, so I go put my paddle in the holder and everything. And there it is. And right away I can tell it's a pretty sizable fish, so I'll go ahead and start trying to get all my gear ready as it's pulling me out of the grass. And you have to forgive all the noise. I left the sound on here so you could hear this drag screaming. I mean, this fish, a couple times it takes off and it goes, man. It's awesome. And I'm fishing with a Penn Fierce 2000 size reel and it's like the El Cheapo $35 rod. Of course, I'm checking to make sure the camera's actually on this time. And I'm also using the voodoo shrimp. This is the large white voodoo shrimp tied to 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. It's probably about 18 inches of that leader directly to the braid with an Albright knot, just in case you keep it score. And you see the birds are still working all around. I always try to keep the rod going the opposite direction of the fish. If the fish is swimming from left to right, I'll pull the rod to the left, or if it's going out to the left, I'll pull the rod to the right. And that's mainly just to keep pressure on that fish, so that way when you get a head shake or something, it's not as easy for the fish to spit the hook. Give me a little pause there. Spit the hook out of its mouth, you know, or shake it loose. Yep, one more time just to make sure. You know, sometimes redfish will do this. They'll fight and fight and fight and fight, and then they're just done. And one more kick. Why not? And still, every fish I catch, man, I get excited. Just a little. And just to let you know, redfish do have teeth. This guy got me pretty good. Just grazed the top of my finger with his mouth, and it cut me open pretty good. You gotta give back there, right? So I measured this fish a couple of times because it was over slot. I could pretty much tell, but I just wanted to make sure. Like I said, you know, 5 of these things, and all 5 were over slot. So this guy was about 29 inches, which is a couple inches over slot for us here. So, you know, gotta let her go. Still a beautiful fish though, and a great catch. So I just want to thank you again for watching the video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, so that way you can get the notifications for whenever we post up some new videos. Going to try to post them up every few weeks here of our trips that we get to make. And hit the like button if you like these videos, man. It really helps our channel to grow, and it only takes you a second to do it. So once again, thanks for watching, and tight lines.